Good morning, folks. This is Gerard out here in West Texas, greening my portion of it. That's what that GGWT stands for. I think I got that right, Gerard Greening, West Texas. Okay, yeah, I got that right. Journal, August 7th. In the year of our Lord and Kings and Saviors at Saving Grandma. All right. Again, no politics here. I've got other channels for that. I haven't done a video in a while. Haven't done a journal in a while. Things have been kind of boring. Unfortunately, putting up barbed wire fencing is not sexy. It's not fun. It's not anything. I actually go stand on top of the truck here, see if I can give you a view in the distance of what. Oh, you're probably not going to be able to see it. Unfortunately, I think these videos don't do well with the cell phone because of it's a rectangle in a vertical position. So, but all the H braces are all up. Well, let's say all the posts are all up. All of the T posts are up, and all the barbed wire is run all the way around. So it's a 300 by 3. Well, that's 300 by 300 by 300 by. It's like 175 and the difference only because I ran the fence through an arroyo, and you got to be careful with the river channels, and so instead of doing a square, I did more of a, what is that, a pentagram? I don't know, octagram, no, not polygon. Anyway, that was boring. I really didn't want to show you guys that. I think that was probably a waste of just you watching me getting cut up by barbed wire fencing. That wouldn't be too fun. But it's mostly up. I mean, I've got to do the gate. In the gate, I'm probably going to get some aluminum. I'm thinking about doing the getting conduit and just welding together some conduit, making my own two 10-foot gates, 10 foot by 10 foot, which will leave, if you can see it in the distance there, it's a 20-foot opening, so that way I could get in big equipment if I really needed to, or a big truck if I really needed to. If I can ever find someone to bring me some mulch instead of me running to go get it. And so, yeah, there'll be two 10-foot sections. One 10-foot would be open, and that'll finally stop the cows from coming in. But I think this right now is pretty much going to stop them. In the front section, I've got 2 strands of barbed wire run. I'm going to run a third. The cows here, either they're very trained or they're very well fed. Well, I think they're not overgrazed, and so they're not really pressuring fences according to the ranchers. So I think that's it for them. So I'm now working on the Wallipini, which is now the priority, which is a great thing. Great place to be. I was here before, but like I said, out here, you don't get to determine your own schedule. Your schedule gets determined by what has to get done, weather, wild animals, grazing cattle, and the cattle came around grazing. So I had to stop working on the earthen greenhouse, Wallipini, where the cobhouse is going to go, and I had to start working back on the cattle fence. So that's pretty much done. So they come back around. I'll finish the gate, but right now I'm not too concerned. I think they're going to pretty much stay out of it. So people said I haven't shown you guys the Wallipinis much where it is, and so I'll give you a little brief look at where we are around. All right, well, let me step back. So this is the foundation of the earthen greenhouse, right? So in the distance you can see the wood posts are going to hold the wiggle wire channels that'll hold the plastic down, and the steel posts are all going to get bent down, angled, so that they stop at this height here. So the inside of this particular Wallipini, they're going to be a couple. It's going to be about 7-8 foot ceilings, and where all the posts are, there'll be conjoining, if that's the right word, 2x4s that are going to hold the actual wiggle wire channels, and all the walls are going to be backfilled with earth and perhaps cob. I'm thinking about doing straw bale on the top too. Like, the goal is to make sure that when the wall comes up, it has very little interactions with the outside temperature. The temperatures it should be interacting with are ground temperatures, and you can do that with straw bale, you can do that with cob, and you can do that with just earthen walls too. So I haven't figured that, I haven't decided that yet. So this is just the entryway where I'm actually pulling material out. I've decided to stop using the backhoe in here for I don't know if you can see, obvious reasons. One, it's a little towable Harbor Freight backhoe. Two, I wear size 12, and if you can see the size of the boulders that I've been digging up, it amazes me that she actually did that. But I mentioned before the strategy I use, and this actually is the koi pond, but I'll show you that more in a minute, is I would dig underneath the rock. So whatever this is, it's not as solid, I think, as it could be. You know, the rock goes down to right about here. What I would do is dig underneath. And when I dug underneath, the weight of all of this rock would fracture the rock, and then I could crack it and pull it up. So I did a lot of that. I don't want to do much more of that because the bucket on the Harbor Freight backhoe is really not designed to take that amount of pressure. Here's just the barrel I'm using to pull material out, starting to line up the rocks. That's going to be the foundation of the house. So if you can imagine, let me put my coffee down, hold on. You know, what I'm envisioning for this first house is, let me use my finger. That's going to be the foundation of the cob house. It's going to come around like that. It's going to be pretty much a semicircle going right up to the pond that's already dug out. So basically the person here will have, it'll be a one-room cob house. The front door will be like a, what do they call those? French doors, all glass that overlooks the koi pond. And as far as excavation, I still got to take out another, I think, what is that? Probably about 20 feet behind the excavator. And then in the far distance, that'll be where there'll be a kitchen. You know, there might be like a sitting area or something over there by the kitchen. You know, and then, you know, this higher elevation here, this will be a walk around for the pond. Try and decide if, you know, coming out the front door, if there should be some sort of a bridge or something that goes over there. So anyway, that pretty much is the first earthen greenhouse. What I've figured out, or what I'm thinking, is that with each one of these, they're going to be different. It's going to be based on, you know, the soil. My original plan, which I think there's a old saying that says, you want to make God laugh, just, you know, go ahead and make a plan. Was that this would go down 4 to 6 feet. And that obviously isn't going to happen. I'm only lucking up because, you know, I was able to dig under these boulders and I can kind of make a decent little pond out there. But, you know, the original plan was to go down 4 to 6 feet. That's not going to happen. So we're going to have to come up 4 to 6 feet, which isn't a big deal. There's enough earthen material. We have to make swales all up here to slow the water down, to hydrate the soil. So there'll be tons of extra soil to do that. In the back where you see that cattle H-brace, I need to put a gate there that can get the backhoe through, but, you know, I'm not going to do that at this moment. Right now is getting up the posts so I can get a shade cloth so I can work out here. You know, it gets pretty hot, so shade allows me to work longer days, and then get the walls up, and then the actual greenhouse cover. And before the greenhouse cover, obviously, is excavating the rest of that. What's inside here, I'm not going to use the backhoe for anymore. I'm going to use the work hoe, which is me, with a shovel, only because with the backhoe makes a big mess of things. And plus, I've got kind of too much that's going on in here. I want to get some planting in here done. And once I get the shade cloth up, I'll probably have got an avocado that's dying to get in its space. And so I might get that planted ahead of time, a Djibouti Kaba and the banana. A few of the ones that will be growing in this particular Wallippini. If you guys remember this was the, I'll give you a little 5-minute tour if I can get away with that, with memory here. This was the original earth that came out of the Wallipinis, and this is one of the hill runoff areas that actually is going to get pushed down in that channel. The good thing is I didn't finish it, because now I know when the water comes through, it would just knock this thing down. This is nothing compared to a trickle of water. The power of water is ridiculous. So I learned that. So what we're going to do down here, and by we, I mean me, is grab a bunch of these rocks here, the biggest boulders I can. I might need to use the backhoe to kind of break them up a little bit. This is a part of that ancient seabed where I found the dinosaur. If you guys aren't following me on Facebook or Instagram, I think I'm on Smart Chat or Voice Chat. What is it? Insta Chat? I don't know. All these little social media sites. Anyway, there's actually, I found a dinosaur, I think a dinosaur face. I might show you that at the end of this video. But all those rocks need to come here, right? Make a big check dam that holds up to the force of the water. And then you can fill in, you know, soil, sand, rock, a very rocky, sandy soil that the water won't move. And then something like this won't just get washed away. That should hold water and eventually, you know, maybe make a little reservoir out of that. In the distance, you can see the greenhouse over there. I'll take a walk over there, the mini greenhouse. So this is where I'm running out of minutes. I got to put a new SIM card in here. That's the greenhouse in the distance. Been doing a lot of planting, so slowly getting a few rows in here. Grape, you know, castor, basil, asparagus, marigold. I got the drip watering in here, and that's why I can start to work a little more, only because the drip irrigation is mostly working. I'm still playing around with it to get things to work right, but it's mostly working. So, you know, there's certain places like here, this tomato is struggling. She's already flowering and trying to make tomatoes. There probably is a little tomato down in there, and I think that might be a squash, I don't remember. But the water, it's obviously preferring downhill. So I'll talk about that in another video. I think there's air getting trapped in the lines, and I need to put breather hoses. This is a blueberry and avocado, a few other little things in there. These are just planters, avocados, and other stuff I had in there. What I learned from this greenhouse, which is interesting, it actually gets cooler in here at night. It does fight the daytime temperature because, well, one, I've got the shade over there. I'm not using the tarps anymore. Tarps were a temporary, cheap thing, a waste of time. Don't spend too much time with tarps out here. They all get destroyed, but I had tons of them, so I used, you know, to get here. So I was using those guys. There's I'll probably put a gutter on the front of that. Right now, that's just a runoff channel for rainwater. Just goes down in there and floods down. Hopefully you can hear me. I always have something playing in the background. There's a little pond in the distance. I'm getting going. It's got a bunch of goldfish and elephant ears in there. And hold on, let me turn this down. I think out here I can kind of make all the noise I want because there's nobody around. And I think that is permaculture videos play, so I kind of listen in the background. Dinosaur face, let me show you that and I'm out. So most of the day now, because the priority is House Wallipinis, I'm going to be building that. I'm not even sure where the dinosaur face is. Which is good, but I learned a lot of cooling things about this greenhouse here. You want to fight the outside temperature, but you mostly want to fight the sun. Keep the sun off of your greenhouse. Otherwise, you're fighting on two fronts. So I have shade cloths all around. So throughout the day, sun isn't hitting much of the greenhouse. And here she goes. And this one's half earthened. The other one's the big ones are gonna be completely earthened. But what I realized is it stays cool in there. Like in the morning when I come out, it's warm out here. It's still cool in there, and it'll maintain that coolness. And the temperature's getting lower and lower the more shade cloths I put around it, and the more I pack up soil. But anyway, let me see if you can see this. So I was out putting up the fence, and I found that dinosaur face. Isn't that amazing? And so I was thinking it was a shell at first, but when you turn it around, you can start to see that it's about the size of a small dinosaur head, and you can even see the nasal channels in there, and the rock is kind of shaped around it. And you can see where the mouth, the lip comes around the front. You can even see teeth in there. So anyway, anybody you know that wants to buy that, she's on sale today for a nice low price of $20 million. Anyway, listen, this is Gerard, Greening, West Texas. The only other priority is water. So I think we got rain coming in about 4 or 5 days, which is great. You know, we've had almost a week, probably 5 days with no rain here in the hills, which is, yeah, it is what it is. You know, I had to haul water the other day, which is not fun. But things have to dry up a little bit so I can actually do some work out here. But when it starts raining, I go to road work and dam work and all the other videos. So anyway, that's it. That's pretty much where I'm at today. The priority is building the Wallipinis. So a lot of the videos from here on for the next 2 to 3 weeks should be a lot of work on Wallipinis. So, you know, I haven't disappeared. I just felt that putting up the barbed wire fencing, it wasn't something as exciting. There are a lot of videos online about doing that. You didn't need to see me do that. So anyway, so other than that, I'm seedlings. I don't know all of what I'm planting. They're coming up. That's either a bean or one of the tree species, the dryland tree species. So, and there's broccoli and there's bamboo stuff that I just planted the other day. So anyway, that's it. This is Gerard, Greening, West Texas, my small portion of it. August the 7th. You guys have a great day.